ladies. How is everyone out there?
Hello.
Hello,
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 hello, hello.
hello.
Yes, yes, yes. So happy to be on tonight. It has been an interesting week. And now we are here to this lovely weekend. Let us go ahead. I am your girl Shalonda, known as Miss Happy Bill. We have your girl Kim, known as Miss Serious K. And your girl Kanee, known as Queen A. Welcome to the show, ladies. I missed you guys. It's been a whole week. When was the last
Yes,
time we
Yeah, I
talked?
know,
I
right?
know, right?
Yesterday. Today.
Right.
Right.
It has been an exciting week. I was able to go home and visit with my parents, take my little one to see his grandparents, which are my parents. And I had a very good time. We actually drove. So, whenever you drive, you take a trip and you drive, you have a lot of time to think, meditate, but you got to keep your eyes on the road. So meditation can be a little like, you kind of more so go into a trance. I do that a lot. I think a lot
Yeah.
of us been doing that, just going off into space, even in the middle of a conversation. What
Mm-hmm.
about you girls? How has
Yeah.
this atmosphere, how has things been
Yes.
treating you? It seemed a little weird, would you say?
Well, let
I
me,
know.
so I would say this. So, I love astrology. So Mercury is in Pisces at the moment, and Pisces kind of bring about a meditative state, sometimes a little bit of confusion, and Mercury deals with information. So sometimes what we're receiving may seem a little cloudy and distorted. But I think a lot of people have been feeling, and I've done a lot of crazy, stupid stuff that I'm like, okay, why am I doing this? But I have a quick story to share with you all, like about my journey and everything. So before I say, I'm sorry, Serious Katie, you were saying something?
Oh no. I want to hear your story. Come on, girl.
Let's hear that story.
No, it's very crazy. So people have always told me that I was dramatic, right? And I never believed them. So Serious K, you think I'm dramatic? Tell the truth.
I don't think so. I don't think
See,
so.
thank you. So Happy Bill always say I'm dramatic, but people have always told me I was dramatic, and I didn't believe it at all. So today I had to go get lab work done. So
Tell
so
us about
you have to
that.
be very hydrated when you're going to get lab work, getting blood drawn. So when I got there, she was trying to do everything to pluck my arms to see if a vein would pop out, and she kept saying we're going to have to. I think we're having a little bit of technical challenges. I think we're hearing you all may be hearing echoing on my side. So I'm going to try to talk a little slower.
Hmm.
Okay. And by the way, you all, we will be switching services on our platform because we have a little bit of technical challenges lately.
Yeah.
But so long story short, I go to get blood work and she's plucking my arm. She's trying to draw the blood out. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna have to go into, this part. And I'm like, no, no, you can't. Like that hurts too much. So she said, I'm gonna have to. So she said instead she's gonna go in here. So I thought I was gonna cry. I'm like, no, you can't do that, right? So I'm fighting with the nurse, and she's like, I'm a nurse practitioner. I know what I'm doing, and blase, blase. And I kept trying to make excuses like, okay, give me 10 minutes. Let me drink some more water so my veins can pop up. And I'm trying to show her, like, see, I have a vein here, I have one here. So I am really acting dramatic. So she said to me, oh, we have a dramatic one here. So she said to me, okay, I'm going to have to go in that way. So she goes in and I start to freak out, right? So meanwhile, I mean, I don't mean to be graphic, but my menstrual, came on today. So I felt a little weak and I didn't have anything to eat. Sorry, y'all. I'm very open.
Listen,
So
this is Queen A, baby.
Queen A all day.
I
All
felt very, very weak. I felt, a certain way going to the doctor today, and I didn't eat anything in the morning because I had to fast. So meanwhile, she's sticking me, and they had to get extra vials for the blood. And I'm like, okay, what's with all the vials? So she's telling me to calm down. Now I'm starting to have a panic attack, right? So she's like, okay, calm down. And I have on a mask. So I'm really breathing heavy and I'm seeing all this blood. And I'm like, I'm getting ready to go under. And she's like, no, just calm
Oh
down.
Lord.
I'm passed out.
Oh my God.
And when I came to, she was like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. I said, I'm so sorry. And she was like, As long as you're okay, she just shook her head. She said, "You are so extra."
Oh my God.
So
Did
that
you
was my
say I
story.
was about to go under?
I did. And I literally said that. I said, "Oh, I saw stars, y'all. I was seeing stars
Oh my
as they were
God.
drawing the blood." And then, in my imagination, I started thinking all crazy stuff. So it's like as she was, taking the blood and she had to keep changing the vials, the needle kept moving. I'm like, my vein is gonna pop. Don't move.
Oh Lord.
So that proved. So I did believe today when she told me that. I said, "Okay, here's a stranger telling me that I'm extra." So I accept the fact that I am a little bit dramatic.
Not a little bit. She is very dramatic, you guys. Extremely dramatic. And it's the truth. I'm not even exaggerating.
I haven't witnessed that
I
part. I
want,
haven't witnessed that part.
Get
and
ready.
so you know how they have the mystery dinners. I don't know if any of you all have been to the mystery dinners. So I actually won the prize for the best actress.
There you have it.
And
Really?
I was really extra dramatic.
Just over the top.
Yeah. So I had to play the part of the one who got murdered. I had to play the part of the mother of the guy who got murdered. So I was all over the room, just dramatic and crying on the floor.
Oh my God.
So I
Not on
won
the
2
floor.
prizes for being the best actress and the best dramatic.
If there's any movie producers, directors out
Oh
there,
God.
we have your next up and coming actress, Miss Queen A.
Listen, I'm the
Look
writer.
up,
I'm
yo.
the writer, y'all.
Look up,
I
yo,
said my
Justice.
first,
He knows some people.
Yeah,
by
we're
the
gonna.
way, when I first went to college, I did study theater, but it was to write, not necessarily to act. But I probably have 2 sides to both. So
Exactly.
That
What a
is funny.
hilarious story. Well, let's just tell our audience, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. I'm on Facebook. Definitely like and share. We are giving away a special prize tonight. So just hold on so you can hear the details about how you can win a prize. And we do not give out bad prizes. I'm telling you, we give out state of the art prizes, don't we, ladies? Hello?
yes, we do.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
indeed.
we do.
Exactly. Well, let's just go ahead and get right into our show after hearing that dramatic, true story
It's not
from
that
Miss
dramatic.
Beyond
Pass
Dramatic.
out.
She passed out, y'all. Get that.
It was so much blood.
This is about as dramatic as what we're going to talk about now.
Ooh, speaking of blood.
Speaking of blood, Lil Nas, have you guys seen the story? Woo, 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 woo. Look at him. I'm gonna assume that those are contact lenses. And is that the shoebox that the shoes go?
Yes, it is.
Lord,
Wow.
girl.
I just want to say this, and then I'm gonna I want to hear what you girls think about this. Um, when I look at that, and I really look at that and just try to put all judgment to the side, I see someone that it's almost like a cry for help to really go that far, because I see where a lot of especially celebrities, they do a lot. If you want to call it sell out, they sell out a lot of things happen and goes on, in the celebrity world from what we see and hear. And I've seen some extreme things, that have come out, but putting the Satan emblem and supposedly blood, to this day, I still don't know, even after trying to research and see if it's real human blood. I still don't know if it's real human blood, but for them to promote that it's human blood in a shoe, where did that blood come from if it is human? Who wants to walk in human blood? And the way of the world today, blood from wherever. Mm-mm. Talk about diseases. Mm-mm-mm. You know, so I definitely see when I look at him, I see a cry for help, a cry for help. And there is no way, and I don't care, even if, and I know that, you know, atheists, and I'm not saying he's an atheist, but I'm saying that atheists believes in, you know, they do not believe in God. They believe in the dark world. And just to play or just dabble into that world and feel, you know, to think that everything is okay, to me, your conscience is deleted. It's depleted. It's gone. There is no conscience. You have no conscience. And to walk around and have no conscience, that says a lot. You know, it's almost like to be okay with promoting a shoe like that. And I'm so glad that Nike was like, no, 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 we're not behind that. And then did you hear about the lawsuit, which I had already said that Nike was not, because, you know, there comes a time where you have to draw the line like, wait.
Yeah.
And it has absolutely nothing to do with Christianity or anything. It's like you have to draw the line somewhere. Like, come on, no, we don't play with, you don't play with that. You don't play with Satan. What has Satan done good for you? You're saying that Satan wake you up, just simply wake you up every day? Is Satan the one that has breathed the breath of life into you? Is Satan the one that has given you this, and maybe so, giving you this gift? You never know. I don't know. I've heard for many years about the Illuminati. I don't know how real and true the Illuminati is. I just would say it probably is a society of wealthy, wicked people. I don't know if it's just men. I don't know if it's just women. But to present yourself as the Illuminati and that you know, if you sell your soul or you sell out and whatever that means, you know, at whatever cause, at whatever price, to do whatever for us, then you're good. And then they even said that if you decide to get out of it, then you sacrifice a life. It may not be your life, but it'll be a loved one, someone that's close to you. To even have, you know, to even think of that, to even have that mindset, that says a lot. But for Lil Nas, I see a cry for help. And, you know, it's almost like, you know, I really, 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 really do. I believe in the power of prayer. And I definitely want to pray, because you never know when he will take that last breath. You never know. And it's like, no matter what, and I'm seeing in the eyes, no matter what, I don't care what he professes or anything. You know, your life is important. And he's gifted. You can see he's gifted just by, I don't know if y'all seen the video. Did you see the video?
I couldn't watch it.
I didn't see the video, but I saw like screenshots of the video, and it looked all creative and like they went all out. But just to see that you want to give all praises because of what you feel happened to you. A lot of things happen to us in our childhood. But it doesn't give you a reason. If anything, you are rich, you are wealthy. Go and get the help to heal from that, instead of praising someone that's going to give you even more hurt, going to give you even more pain, going to give you even more suffering. So I definitely see a cry for help. Go ahead, Queen A.
No, I was going to say, so Nikki Green said it's a publicly stunt as well. He's definitely on the satanic spirit and crying out for attention. Yes. And I just want to give a shout out to our previous guest, Yo Justice. Hello, Honey Bunch. She's on the show with us.
Hey,
yes, she did say that. So I did see the video, and the video was insane. I mean, he was having supposedly sex with the devil. And a lot of people, and you know, I just want to say this, that even on the sneakers had 666 on it. And it also had Luke 10:6, mentioning the fall of Satan. So it's very interesting during Resurrection Weekend, during Easter weekend. By the way, happy Easter, you all. So it's just very interesting during this time how he comes out with the video around Satan, and also giving Satan his praises. But I would say this. I know sometimes people do sell out just to be famous, they do all type of crazy stuff. We don't know what, I mean, that industry is a whole nother world. The entertainment industry, we definitely need God in that industry. And perhaps that's why during the pandemic, you saw the entertainment industry suffered the most. Because a lot of God was taken out of that industry, and He wants to come back to that industry. And we're seeing it now during resurrection. But you know what's interesting? God always takes something that's evil and turn it around for His good. Because even in this time, we start to see a video like this that's going on, and now now is the time for us to begin to really pray. So we want to come together, like, okay, what is going on? And now we realize that it's definitely time to pray.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. You know, they wait until Resurrection Sunday weekend to come out with this type of stuff, because there's a movie called Unholy, y'all. It came out on Friday night. It's a demonic movie. It's a scary movie. We have to recognize that these are. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Lil Nas. That baby, he's a lost soul. He's a lost soul, and he has sold his soul to the devil. I mean, he it's like he gave these shoes and this blood as a sacrificial thing to Satan. When I was younger, I used to always hear pastors say, you know, your eyes are the windows to your soul. And then I had a pastor as an adult, he would say, you got to watch, what you listen to, and the words that you speak, because you have your ear gate, your eye gates, and your mouth gate. So in saying that, he said that he was saying some of this stuff in some of his old songs, and people didn't recognize it. So we have to be careful what we listen to, even what our children listen to. We have to be careful, because we don't know what place this is coming from, what type of spirits this is coming from. And those people that bought those tennis shoes, now I hear that people donated blood. You got those shoes in your home. You don't know what kind of spirits you're letting out in your home. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who these people come from. They're devil worshipers, atheists, or whatever you want to call them. You purchasing these shoes, and you just don't know what kind of spirits you let roam in your home. And I was thinking about Ephesians 6:12, you know, when I saw that. And, you know, Ephesians 6:12 says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of the world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. We have to use our spiritual weapons at this time, during this time, our prayer in the word of God, because I'm telling you, it's like this weekend, you got these demonic spirits fighting against the Holy Spirit. I mean, we're supposed to be celebrating the death and the resurrection of Christ, and Satan, but you know, Satan know his time is up. He don't have long. So we ain't gonna worry about him. We just gonna continue to pray. We're gonna pray for Lil Nas and all these other people, because y'all, I mean, all the stuff that's been going on, all these shootings and killings and attacks. Yeah, I'm just speechless. My spirit just cringes every time I think about it. He's young and he's just lost.
Yeah. I wanted to mention too, you're so right about, you know, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. But I wanted to mention something that Queen A said about how the entertainment world suffered the most during this pandemic. And that is something to look at for a lot of entertainers, and for him in particular. You know, to come back. And I know, and you know, and it bothered him after the fact, because he made a statement. I don't know if y'all saw the statement. He said he was just trying to, you know, voice his, I guess, trying to just be free from the pain and stuff that he dealt with as a kid, you know, because of who he is and what he has selected as far as, you know, what he chose to be, his gender. And that's fine, and that's all. But there's so many people that has decided to go the opposite way from what they were born. If they were born woman, they decided to be a man. If they were born a man, decided to be a woman. And they're not lifting up Satan. And no matter what, if it was just art, because I've even heard that, oh, it was just art. That was no art. Nothing art artistic about that. There was no art at all. To me, that showed weakness. That showed greed. That it shows so much. It showed pain and suffering. You could see so much in, and them coming up with some shoes, some tennis shoes, and then the cost, was it over $1,000? And they sold
Yeah.
out, like, was it they sold out within hours or within the
Yeah.
same day or something like that?
Yes,
Except one pair.
But think about it, y'all. Who bought them? You think
Ooh.
everyday people bought them, or do you think celebrities bought them?
I think a little bit of
A
both.
thousand and some dollars. Okay, everyday people. Where did they get 1,000? Where did a 19 or
Stimmy.
probably so? Because I'm like, where did everyday people get? Because they sold out, and he only bought, was it 606, or he only sold 666?
5. He couldn't sell the last pair because by that time Nike sued him.
Oh,
Well,
sued him.
talked
And
about,
Nike won.
they got
Yeah,
this lawsuit going. So,
exactly. I thought I read somewhere where Nike won the
oh,
lawsuit. I
okay.
thought I
Well, you know the story behind that. So Miss MSCHF, I call it Mischief,
Yeah,
is the
that's what they
company who creates, like, brand things, and it looks almost exactly like the actual company. So supposedly it wasn't Nike who endorsed it, so which is why Nike was suing them. But let me go a little bit into astrology, y'all.
Go ahead.
So his natal chart, right? It doesn't show. I wish I can dive more into it, but just knowing a little bit of what they have on the internet of his natal chart. So he's an Aries, and his moon sign is a Cap. Stop it. And his moon sign is a Capricorn. Now let me
No.
say this. I know, but no, this is very powerful though, because if your sun sign is Capricorn, it's good energy. But when it comes to spirituality and tarot, Capricorn in the moon sign, not with the women because it's different, is with the men. In this, more into astrology, Capricorn, the moon sign represents the devil. So, and because not Kim, not you at all, but I'm saying, like, but it is for men. Women are totally different. It's two sides to astrology when it comes to the masculine and the feminine energy. But the male, when the moon sign is in Capricorn, it typically what happens, it's addiction. It's something involving like the dark side. So which is why he's drawn to the dark side. But it's like, and it's like, because the devil represents the shadow side, the dark side represents addiction, sex addiction. It represents everything that's not of Christ, basically. And if a person is caught up into it, because the Capricorn is an energy that's kind of like stable, and so they kind of like to stay in that energy, and that's why the addiction is there when it comes not the sun sign, Kim, the moon sign. So the moon. So what's going on with him is because it's like he's operating out of his moon sign. He's operating out of the Capricorn energy, and he may deal with addiction. He may deal with even sex addiction. He may deal with could be getting involved in using drugs, or he may be drawn to the occult. So this is very fascinating. Why I always tell people, you got to get your astrology chart. People say it's not a Christ, that's a lie, because people follow the North Star, which is all a part of it. By the way, the North Star, y'all, is your destiny, your North Node in your astrology chart. It guides you along the path. So God created all of this for a reason. He created astrology to help us as a tool to understand our path in life, but we always look to him as a source. So it's very interesting to know his chart a little bit and seeing, and I would love to dive more into it to kind of understand, what this time is for him, because he is kind of going in that energy, and he needs to be careful, because if he's not careful, he can get involved a little bit more in addiction, like drug addiction. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something around that, either sex addiction, drug addiction. So and in that whole entertainment industry, I read a book, and I actually met this Italian guy recently. We had a whole conversation, and I love learning from different people and cultures.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this. I read a book about the Black Pope, and the Black Pope is a bunch of people, like the wealthiest people, and they rule the Federal Reserves, the entertainment industry, and it's like a lot of different crazy stuff go on, and it's like you think that the Black Pope is considered like the Catholics, but supposedly he's supposed to be into Christ and all of that. But yet is a dark side to it, and they do things that's hidden because they have the power to do so. That's why I think you mentioned the series, Kay, but it's like we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities in high places, not just places, but also higher people in power, and all of that. A lot of things that they're doing because they have the money to do so. So we got to, become more knowledgeable, y'all, because it's very interesting what's going on.
Yeah, it is. And you're definitely right. We have to become more knowledgeable. And I'm glad you mentioned about astrology being used as a tool to help you navigate through life, because it does. And if to me, especially understanding your natal chart, a lot of people probably not familiar with that term, but your birth chart, it breaks down who you are.
Yeah.
In totality, why you do the things you do, why you're going in that direction, why you're interested in this, why you're interested in that. Why do you have addictive behaviors? Addictive behaviors because of, like you just mentioned about Capricorn being his moon sign, and then what the reason why this and the reason why that and what all that means. So it's very, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you grow. Like really, the more you know and the more you grow, in all areas, in all facets of your life. So that's important. And we definitely see him acting in and I think you mentioned, I don't know, a few minutes ago, but you have mentioned Queen A, that people see you in the world as your moon sign because you operate in your what sign? Mhm.
So, people see you in your rising or your ascendant sign. So, like my sign is Virgo, but my rising is Sagittarius. So, but my moon sign is Aries. So my moon sign is how people see me when I'm hidden from the world. Like, when you know me up close and personal, you see the Aries tendencies, like, someone who like to take initiative, someone who could be pushy, someone who could be a leader, someone who could, like a pioneer, but also someone who's very impatient. God is dealing with me with that. But the rising sign is Sagittarius, someone who's very sociable, someone who's very wild. So you see the wild side a little bit, right? Someone who's very open and blunt. And then the Virgo, the Virgo is usually what your purpose is, kind of what you're guided to. And you grow, as you get older, you grow into your sun sign, which my sun sign is Virgo. But again, your moon is who you are at home, who you are when you're comfortable. And the moon is hidden. So because it's hidden, people don't see that side of you until you actually get to yourself. You remind me all the time. She would say to me, okay, that Aries is operating in you.
Oh my God. And all y'all see is the Sagittarius. If you don't know, look it up. But moving on from that, one thing that I want us to express and to really promote as Heart, Mind, and Voice show is that, you don't to move past your childhood pain, any type of pain. If you dealt with pain as an adult, a young adult, or, in your childhood, or even now, there is always help available. God would never leave you nor forsake you. He says that. He is our shepherd. We shall not want. He would never leave you nor forsake you. So there is always help available. There's free help. You may say, well, I don't have money. Everything costs. There's free help. We said I believe every Saturday, we said, reach out to us. If you need some help, you need someone to talk to. email us,
Contact
heartmindvoiceshow.
Happy Bill, y'all. Happy Bill.
Contact Queen A because she will go into your natal chart. She will really break down exactly what is going on with you. So certainly reach out to us via email at heartmindvoiceshow at gmail.com. We will love. This is why we do what we do. So certainly reach out to us. You do not have to sell out. When we say sell out, sell your soul to the devil,
Right.
because what does the word says? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul at the end?
Yes.
So we just want to put that out there. And, even talking about Lil Nas, I feel so heavy. Even talking about that whole
You were
situation.
right.
Because you know what we're talking about. You know what it comes with when we mention him, and he's gotten all involved because we're so sensitive to energy. The energy is so heavy, but the devil is a lie because God is a lie. And that weekend proves that every single year. And God's children prove it because our lives are miracles every single day. So
Yes.
we want to move on from that, and we want to begin to share. We want to go a little deep into our lives because tonight we want to talk about, the whole show is centered around rise. So even with the situation that we just spoke about, he can still yet rise, because you know what? Just like God loves us and God loves you that's watching, he still loves Lil Nas. He still will accept Lil Nas. So let's move on and let's talk about overcoming obstacles, rising from those ashes. And when I mention that, we're talking about some trying times that we have dealt with in our life. And Queen A, we want to start off with you. We want you to share.
Put me on the spot.
Let me put
What
it
page are you?
let me put it out there, everyone. Besides sex, Queen A, we want to talk about, tell us about a moment where you have risen from those ashes. Come on, there's plenty. I know some, but you're Queen A. We want to hear from Queen A.
I had rising above sex addiction.
Oh my Lord.
No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. I just said that. So, I have many stories. But one I can attest to is, I don't like, all right, because you can get my tissue, just in case. So, you just put me on the spot. So one of the things, definitely I would say is I can tell you so many obstacles that I have overcome. Oh Lord, girl, you really put me on the spot here. But one I can say, sometimes you think you're ready to kind of speak about certain things, and when it comes down to it, you're like, oh Lord, do I really want to go there to that to that topic? But so one thing I would say this: I remember a time when I was going to school and I was determined to finish, and it was such a challenge. And at the time, I was living out of my car, and I just didn't know, what to do, how to overcome it. It's like I was going into work, and and at the time, like I can't remember what happened financially, but it's a long story behind this. But anyway, long story short, at the time, I started working, and they had a gym at the bottom of the building where I worked. So I was staying in my car and I was going to school, but I was determined to finish. It seemed like everything was getting in the way. And I remember just crying all the time. And I would speak to Happy Bill about it. And I'm like, just crying all the time. And I'm like, I don't know, what am I going to do? How I even got to this point. And again, I just remember crying all the time. And I would go into work, and people never knew what was going on. And I would go into work, and at the time I was still building a business. I was going to work, going to school, and I would go into work and I would take a shower there, and they never knew what would happen. So it was like I was staying in different parking lots, in different places, praying that the police wouldn't come and tell me to leave, and and everything. So it was just so rough to deal with that. And I mean, I don't know how I got through it. All I can say, it was definitely God, because he definitely made a way, and he helped me be strengthened during that time. And he just really, pushed me forward. But that time humbled me, I say that. It really humbled me to a whole nother level, and it gave me the wisdom. And I saw my life, it's like because I trusted in God no matter what it looked like. And I remember a prophet, would speak over my life. And at the time, a very special friend, I always like to acknowledge him, Prophet Winston. He was, constantly pushing me, no matter what it looks like. And he would support me in ways, and Happy Bill. And, it's like people would support. I had supporters there that would help push me until I got into a place. But it was just really rough. And I was just embarrassed. And I had so much pride. Listen, pride, y'all, goes before a fall. And I was too embarrassed to ask for help. I was too embarrassed to say what situation I was in. Especially because, when sometimes we ask for help, people start to get on you, like, why are you in this situation and what's going on? So it was a lot to overcome, and I didn't think I was going to make it. But I really made it. So it was definitely God. So that's just one, story. It's just so many after another, but oh, yeah, but it's just, and another thing I want to say this, mental health as well is very serious. And I remember overcoming something, in my family with mental health, and just being in a situation where, like a parent, wanted to, kill you or stuff, so it's like, that's the hard part that I have a hard thing with. So I want to say God has really gave me a lot of wisdom. He's taught me how to overcome and taught me how to push. And I became strengthened. And, I realized sometimes we go through experiences to help somebody else, because I have coached people who've been in my experiences. And I'm like, I can't believe that I went through that. And I now can share this and teach this person how to get through it and how to overcome it. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. Of course, going through that, nothing beautiful about living out of your vehicle, and to be able to come out of that, and then you can look back and share it with others
Mm-hmm.
to help them, because, and that's a hard lesson to, when they say, you go through things not for you, but for the next person. And I'm
mhm.
like, well, why you just can't give me that wisdom, and then I can tell that next person? But it's nothing like experience when you actually go through something that was so treacherous, or something that was so hard for you to make it or to breathe. Sometimes we go through things, and you feel like you can feel those anxiety attacks. You can
Yeah.
feel your heart palpitate. You can feel every single pain, every single step that you take through whatever it is that you're going through.
And I remember at work too, when I would go into work, I
Mhm.
remember those times where I would try so hard not to cry. And it's like I was at the front desk, so everyone, can see me. And I had to deal with a sales team. And it's like I'm constantly talking. And I would just bust out in tears. And no, it's like sometimes I just didn't even know all I can do is just cry. I didn't even want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to deal with it. And, all I could do was just cry. And, during the day, I remember just constantly crying. I'm like, God, like, but he let me tell you, he made a way. But it's like when you're able to push through it, like even if it looks that hard, if you're able to just take a step, God would do the rest. And the fact that I trusted and I took a step, he did all the rest. So
Yes, yes. And
Yes.
I was even told one time, crying, those tears, that's a cleansing, that's a purging. So you was going to that, God was elevating you, taking you to that next level, but we have to shed off that old skin, that dead weight. And those tears were representation of your shedding, your purging. And it's her, and then that's something else. Put it on a face when you're going through adversity, and you have to go before people and put on a smile.
Mhm.
That is, to me, that's harder than the adversity, because at
It
least
is.
you your little shell and cry and vent and be angry and throw stuff. But then when you got to come out before the people and because it's not their fault, that is the hardest part. Serious K, share one of your obstacles with us.
Yeah, Happy Bill. I was thinking when you were saying, you got to go out and you got to face people and they don't know what you're going through. There have been many days I've stood behind that chair behind people crying and they didn't even know I was crying.
mm,
Mm,
I had no idea. I have been through so many things. There's so many things I've overcame. I don't even know where to start. Um, from a kid all the way into adulthood. I mean, even it was even one point in my life where I questioned God and I said, God, I said, if you're going to submit me to so much pain, why do you have me here? Why am I here? I felt like my place was down. Like that's I didn't know my purpose at that time. At that time, I felt like my purpose on earth was to always be down, always be submitted to pain. That's what I felt. Happy Bill, you know my story of being a victim of domestic violence. In the home, I wasn't beaten in the home, but we had a lot of verbal abuse going on. Me and him going back and forth, back and forth. And when I decided to leave that relationship because I was no longer happy, it was very unhealthy. So when I decided to leave that relationship, which he had told me, and jokingly before, if you ever leave me, I'll kill you. Well, when I decided to leave that relationship, of course, he set out to do exactly what he thought he was going to do. He tried to kill me and left me there laying on the pavement for dead in blood. And the only way I got through was I always thought about my kids. My kids always stayed on my mind. And, it's like, I got to push through for these kids. And I think I'm always a person that's moving about. I'm always moving. So that's all I knew to do was to keep moving, So it took me a long time before I grieved that pain of what I went through, because all I knew to do was to get up and just keep moving. So I just got up and I just kept moving. And I always had strong women as examples in my life. My mother, especially my grandmother, I watched this lady raise 7 kids. Well, not watch her raise 7 kids, but she raised 7 kids on her own. And, after her husband died, and I would go over a lot. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother, and she was a strong woman, and you hardly ever hear her complain about anything. And it just kind of rubbed off on me. So I didn't complain about what I was going through. I didn't talk a lot about it. I just kept moving. And I just kept remembering, like, there's a scripture in the Bible, and I don't know it word for word, but I just always say, that same God that delivered me last time, I always stick to that. He's going to deliver me again. The same God that was with me back then, he's still with me now. So every time I faced an adversity, I just kept that in my mind and I just kept moving. And I know it was kind of unhealthy too, as for, mentally, for me to just keep moving and not deal with the pain. But I did, and eventually I did deal with the pain, because I had, some spiritual people around me that were talking to me and encouraging me and just giving me encouraging words, even though I still wasn't verbally talking to them and telling them how I was feeling. But because they were spiritual, they can feel that, and they knew that. And they would say things, and I'm like, how they know? How they know? So I thank God for those people. And I want women out there to know, or even men that's going through anything like this, and you feel like there's no purpose for your life. There is a reason and there's a purpose for your life. You're here to be an inspiration for other people. You're here to be a help for other people. And we need you. We all need each other. We all need each other to survive and to be here on this earth. So know that there is a way out. There is a way to overcome. Just rely on whatever your faith is, whatever your spiritual higher power is. Just lean on that, and the people that are around you, only the positive people. Lean on those people, and you can get through, and you can overcome those obstacles.
Amen. That's a powerful story. And that's so real and so true. And it's amazing how I'm connected to the both of you. And you're right. I can attest to the both of your, your triumphs, and both of, that you're from, just what you've gone through. Um, and it wasn't easy. And it's, when you mentioned Serious K, about, there's so many I can think of and just share. And then that was like one of the main ones. You try to pick that one that's, ooh, let's see which one that was piercing. Like that was, but you almost lost your life. That one was piercing. But I would say one of mine is When and there's plenty too that I can mention. But then there was one dark moment in my life where I was suicidal, and it was when I gave birth to my little one. And many women, and I'm not going to say all because all don't, but many women deal with postpartum, and
Yeah.
they said I was dealing with that, and I was dealing with that with a lot of other things as well, pertaining to my son's father. And I remember um, I was going through such a dark moment, and I went into the bathroom, and after you give birth, and they send you home, they give you these pain pills. And I remember, and I went in the cabinet, and I grabbed the bottle, and I was gonna take them all. And my little one, and he wasn't a newborn because when he was born, he was only 2 pounds. So they had to keep until he was at least 5 pounds. So he was a little bitty 5 pounds something, and he was home that night, first night at home, and um, he was asleep. And so when I went in the bathroom and I went in the cabinet, I was going to take those pills. And this little 5 pound baby,
Mhm.
I think he was maybe two, maybe almost 3 months. And he yelled out, and it was clear as day when I think about it now. It was almost like that little 5 pound baby said, "Mama," but
Right.
he said, "Ah." And when he said that, it startled me, and I dropped the bottle, and everything went in the sink down the drain. And I ran in there because I thought he had rolled off the bed.
Mm.
But when I went in there and I looked at him, and he was just looking, with his little eyes and looking and everything, and he was like this, just looking at everything, and I grabbed him, and and it was like right then and there, I knew that I had to live for him. So, Serious K, when you said that, all I could think about was my kids. It's amazing. Your kids,
Oh,
they
Mhm.
yes.
life into you. Even when you
Yeah.
want to give up, even after the fact, when you feel
Mhm.
like you just want to give up, maybe not kill yourself, but just don't
Yeah.
want to try again, just don't want to do. You think about
Mhm.
your kids, and I'm talking
Yeah.
about the ones with the little ones. I know the ones that are grown. You've done your
Yeah.
grown. But when you have little ones, they breathe life into you. When that life is gone, they are a source of life for you. They are truly a blessing. They really are. And I went through a lot. There was a lot of obstacles I went through as I was a mother at a late age, at 36 years old. Mother, first child, knew nothing about being, of course,
Mhm.
everybody
Mhm.
child knew nothing about being a mother, had never raised any kids. So I didn't know anything about being a mother and being lonely and being with this little bitty one. And, with him being very little, being born as two
Mhm.
pounds, growing into just 5 pounds, that was a whole new world for me. And dealing with postpartum, dealing with this newborn, it meant, I mean, it was everything. It was a whole new life for me. And to be able to overcome that, and to where there was a wall and a wedge between me and my little one in the
Mhm.
beginning, where my parents had to step in, you know, had to step in and show the love that a baby is, required to have. And to look back on that, to see how I am today, to see how I'm that true lioness
Yeah.
today, better not.
Mhm.
My little one, and I can't imagine life without him. Overcoming. I mean, when God said we are more than overcomers, we are truly this. What we've already, everything that we've everything we're going through, everything that we've gone through, we've already overcame that. We just got to reach for that, whatever that door is, to open that door and walk through that. But it's painful. But we're learning. When we're being
Yeah.
stretched, we're growing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like they're from here, to adults, just like how we
Mhm.
were when we were born, So that's stretching, that's growing.
Mhm.
And so that's just like in the spiritual world, and in the physical and the mental and the emotional. When you allow the process to take place in your life, and people may say, what is the process? Whatever it is that you're dealing with, and accept it. Okay, this is where I'm at. Okay, just like I got through that, I'm gonna get through this. And there's
Mhm.
steps that you have to take. And if you're not seeking, then you're not gonna find. It's not, you're not gonna know. If you're not seeking how to get out of this, if you're not asking, okay, can you help me do this? Or can you show me this? Or can you teach me this? Then okay, it won't be available. But it's not, faith without works is dead. So that's in every area, in everything that we do. Faith without works is dead. So if we're not seeking and asking, and if we're not doing our part, because everybody has their own part, everybody
Yeah.
has,
Yeah.
even in a situation, even if a situation gone bad, from good to bad, that's not just that person's fault. Everybody has a part in every situation. So overcoming our obstacles, those were beautiful, beautiful stories. We pray and hope that it has helped someone, that it will help someone along the way now. Even if you're going through something now, I'm telling you, it's always a way out. God always give you a way of escape. He is
Happy
the
Bill.
author of our faith. Yes, go ahead, Queen Anne.
Um, so when I was to your story, I mean, it's a phenomenal story because a lot of women, and I want to say this, a lot of women in your situation, sometimes they don't know the full story of that, but sometimes it's like when you have, especially as mothers, you have a child, and it's like when you're going through a breakup with the child's father, what typically happens, like I remember when I had my son and I was going through a separation with my ex-husband, and I remember looking at my son and I have feelings of, like kind of hatred because it's like the feeling that I had towards my ex and what we were going through. So I can attest to your story, and it's like praying that God get you through it, because it's like you start to have all these feelings, and it's like that child's a reminder of your situation, a reminder of what you went through, while being pregnant, while giving birth, after the birth. But I want to say also, like, you're right. Even my child is grown, and all the time I tell him, like, you are my gift, you are my angel. Because every time when I feel like, even today, sometimes when I feel like I just want to give in and give up, I remember him. I mean, of course, other people, like that I coach or whatever, but it's like I remember my son, and it's like I just want to prove to him that life is really better if you keep
Yeah.
pressing. Life is better. But I want to say this too. So it's a thing in our lives that we go through, like when we going through an ascension or an awakening, or we evolving, we go through like a tower moment, right? And a tower moment is typically where it feel like everything is coming down on you because you're ascending to the next level. So sometimes it can feel emotionally, like you're crying all the time. Sometimes it can be depression. Sometimes it can be financial. Sometimes it can be a loss in a relationship, a loss, in material things, house, whatever. But a lot of times it's like like I'm gonna say me. So sometimes, like for me, when I went through my ascension period, and every time I fell, it's like oh my God, do you have to take me to the lowest of the lowest? But it's like every time I reach that valley point where I'm like, I cannot go any further than this. Like I cannot go down any further than this. It's like I rise twice as much.
Yes.
So it's like,
Yes.
yes, and it's like just when that breaking point where it's like I'm about to give up, like I'm getting ready to break, or I can't even make it anymore. It's like that's when all of a sudden, boom, all of this will start coming in, and and it comes in a flood, like just blessing
Yes.
upon blessing upon blessing. But one thing I had to learn is letting go. Because well, for me, and Happy Bill, like I had a hard time dealing with my emotions. And sometimes like I let it all stay in because it's like I didn't want to cry. I wanted to be strong. But it's like the minute I stop trying to control things, and sometimes your life, you can like sometimes you gotta let go control of even your own life and let God steer it for you, steer the wheel. Because even for me, sometimes when I try to control every aspect of my life, like everything. And all of a sudden, it's like the minute I feel like I'm going to lose control, it's like at that point God steps in. He's like, okay, you're ready to surrender. And typically that's what happens, is like when you're ready to surrender, that's when the blessings come in. That's when the relationship come in. That's when, you know, God can step in and really do his work, because you surrender control. You surrender, you know, how everything's supposed to be, should be. And I want to say this too. And I don't know why I feel like it's somebody say this, like, don't feel guilty for whatever has occurred in your life. I know sometimes we hold this guilt and we stay in that feeling of like remorse, guilt. And sometimes all it is learning lesson. If we can let go of the guilt, let go, forgive, whatever it is, release, it's like now God can step in and our lives can begin to transform in a most powerful, powerful way.
Yes. And
Beautiful. That's right. Did you
yeah.
want to say something serious, Kay?
No, I just wanted to say, you know, earlier we talked about one of you guys mentioned, you don't look like what you've been through. You know, a lot of people see you and they see you blessed and they see you doing good, and then they want to be mad at you or they want to be jealous of you. Let me tell you something. I went through hell and high water. And when God started blessing me, I said, finally, God, it's my turn. It seemed like everybody around me was getting blessed. So I'm humble. I don't have $1 million. I'm not a millionaire, but I'm definitely not where I was before. And I tell you, it took a lot. I went through a lot to get to where I am. And I'm very humble. I'm very humble at where God has me right now. So when you see people and you see them looking nice or doing this or doing that, you don't know their story. So don't judge them. You don't know their story. And don't be jealous. You don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through in their life. It's their time. And your time will come too. Your time will come too. There's a season for everything.
Oh, yes, Lord. Thank you for saying that.
That's
Your
that saying, you
time
know my glory.
will
That's that saying, you saw my glory, but you don't know my story.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Oh my God. And so many people are jealous really of nothing. That's just wasted energy, because if you knew the price I had to pay, nothing's free.
Mhm.
Remember that.
Right.
Nothing's free. Nothing's
So
Nothing.
you know what, Happy
Woo!
Bill, Serious
God.
K, every
free.
the people don't realize too is everything you go through is your ministry. That's your teaching. That's a part of your purpose. Like
Yeah.
even some of the things I had to go through, like with family, and now it's like, you know, wanting to birth a nonprofit for families, and it's like, you know, Serious K or Happy Bill, it's like even what you've been through, you know, like Serious K, what you've been through in domestic violence, birthing something around that. Happy Bill, birthing something around relationships, because that's, you know, where you suffered the most. So it's like where we suffered the most, that's what we call to heal. And
Yes.
you know, and it's, people don't realize that. So it's like, even though it's hard to say allow the process to happen, but it's so important to just allow the process to happen. Go with the flow, go with the process. It's like, you know, it's that saying, ride the wave. As you ride the wave, you're not going against the wave because you're going to drown. So you want to just go with the flow and ride the wave and trust God, because it's like whatever you're going through is definitely for a purpose. It doesn't seem like it at the moment, but in time you will understand why you went through it, and God will definitely bless you for it. It's like the Bible,
Yeah.
when Paul said, now Happy Bill, you know how I am with this. I know the Bible inside and out, but I'll be messing up those scriptures. But Paul mentioned about the thorn in his side. He asked God, he said he had a thorn, and he asked God to remove it 3 times. And God says no, because his power is made stronger in that moment. And it's like this thorn that we always seem to carry in our lives. Like even when something good, something boom happened. But that moment that something, it seems bad, but again, it's only meant to bring an ascension in your life. So that pain that you feel, whether depression, whether it's, you know, finances, whatever it is, that pain that you feel is only meant to awaken something in you, so you can move to that
Start
next level.
shouting.
Yes,
Start
because
shouting.
what you say?
I just said start shouting. Start shouting. When you
Yes.
start feeling that pain, start shouting.
Yeah,
Woo.
that's
It's a
it right
blessing
there.
coming.
That's it right there. And even in my book, Finding Your Way, that's what I mentioned in the book. Is like when I had to go through a moment of finding my way through life. It's like every time something bad happened, it seemed bad, it seemed like it was so rough. That's when the blessing showed up. And it was like I've learned how to find my way through life through understanding what those painful moments meant. So it's you just got to really understand what those painful moments are and not sit in the damn pain. So it's like
That's right.
sometimes some of us get caught up and want to stay in that dark shadow moment, want to stay in it. Sometimes I know for me when I was depressed at one moment, I know we're gonna go soon, but I just feel like I have to share this. But I remember one time when just I was in a depressive state and I turned to drinking a lot. I was drinking and alcohol and drugs running my family heavy. And I started to drink a lot and I started to find an excuse for every single reason why. So it's like just to relax. And I come home from work just to relax, I have a drink. Just to get in the mood sexually, I have a drink. Just to go to sleep at night, I will have a drink. Then it's like at times it's like, just back in the days, smoking marijuana or whatever. It's like I felt like I had to get high. So it's like I was having an excuse for everything just to get that fix, like just to get that addiction, because I didn't want to deal with the pain that I was experiencing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember getting a prophetic word about to stop drinking. And it's like something in me just clicked. And I'm like, I didn't even realize that I was becoming that way. It's like it started off by little, like just, then all of a sudden it started to progress into something more and severe. And it got to the point where I was drinking heavy drinks, so and I didn't even realize. And then one day I remember looking at my mom because she suffered, through addictions a lot. And I remember having a drink and she came over and just the outbreak that happened that day. And I looked and at that moment, I realized like this is not who I want to become. And I love my mom to death, but it was just God was reminding me, you don't want to go down that path, you don't want to go down that road. So I want to say, if you're dealing with something, just get some support around it, get some help. The first thing is awareness, the second is acceptance, the third is confession. So, and that's what helped me get through a lot of my, my challenges was confession. You got to talk to someone about it. You got to accept where you are, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a part of life. And just, go to God, go to someone and get support. If you don't want to tell your friends and family, go to a professional because that's going to be so important for your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, amen. That's powerful and beautiful. Wow. Thank you, ladies, so much for being so transparent. That is what we're all about. Heart, Mind, and Voice Show. Healing the heart, renewing the mind, all through the power of transparency. So, certainly, if you're out there and you're going through anything, whatever it is, I don't care. Nothing's too small, nothing's too big for God. Even if you let me tell you how small it can be. You don't know which shoes you're going to wear tomorrow for Easter Sunday
Mm-hmm.
service. You can pray about that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing is insignificant for God. He loves us. He loves our prayers because that's communication with Him. He loves our praise and our worship. He loves us. So it's
Yeah.
nothing too small, nothing way too big. Lord, I'm believing and trusting you for whatever.
Yeah.
It's not too big. He created everything. There's nothing too
Mm-hmm.
big for him. So certainly, definitely know that you're not alone. And that's the one thing, ladies, we mentioned that about our support group. You gotta have a support group.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing work to have what you said, Queen A, about the nonprofit. About when you mentioned to Serious K about dealing with domestic violence, a lot of women, because even to this day women are dealing with that, and that's not to exclude men. There are men, it seems amazing that a man would deal with it, but there are some out there that's dealing with it, and it's
Yeah.
not right all across the board. It's not right. Women, what relationship, man, we don't even want to go there with that topic on relationships. There's people that are suffering in relationships. We just talked about that um, last week about with the Derrick Jackson situation
Yeah.
and that beautiful wife, and look at what she's going through.
Yeah.
And say that she's this perfect person, but regardless of that, because everybody plays their role, plays their part, regardless of that, no one deserves to suffer. No one deserves to go through, what any other woman is going through. So certainly reach out for help. Email us if you're searching for and you just don't know which way to go, where to turn, who to talk to. heartmindvoiceshow@gmail.com. Talk about from tragedy to triumphant. That's us. That's all of us. As many of you that's out there. So we don't want to forget our prize giveaway. I hope you guys like, share, subscribe on our YouTube as well as on our Facebook page. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get off into our prize giveaway. So am I going to have to do the same thing that I have been doing with the numbers?
No. Do something different.
What color?
We have some people out there that want to win something. Okay, Queen A, what's up? What's up? What do you got? You say I don't have to do the numbers thing, so what do you got? See, she don't have none.
Let's ask a question to the audience to see how well one of them they know us.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, why you always like, you just put me on the spot today.
You came up with the question. Now we got to think hard.
No, because it's how well you think that you know one of us, right? So so I'm gonna ask the question to the audience. Which one of us do you think, let's see, which one of us do you think loves sushi? Just put it in the chat. Which one of us do you think loves sushi?
Does it have to be one person or two? Or one person? You got to.
Did we lose?
The first person
Did we lose our audience?
All right. Anybody else? All right. Nikki Green said Kim, Sirius K. All right. Anybody else?
So if there's a tie in the answer, then we got to ask another question. Did we lose her? Did we lose
Probably.
her? So she'll be back in a second. So if there's a tie, she'll be back in 1 second. If there's a tie in the answer, so if Happy Bill and Sirius K love sushi, and so that's not a win. So we have to ask another question. So Queen A, I'm going to go ahead and let you finish that session.
All right. So let me ask this. Sirius K, do you love sushi?
Yes, of course.
Oh, Happy Bill, do you love sushi?
No.
And I like sushi. But
so we gotta ask another question. It has to be only one person.
Okay, so let's ask another question.
Well,
okay, another question.
Go ahead.
No, Sirius K, pick a question.
Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Which one of us is never on time for anything?
Type it in the chat.
Okay, we waited. Which one of us is never on time? And while we wait, I just want to thank all the audience for live streaming with us, and also our producer, Sandrine Blake. We love her. She's doing a phenomenal job.
Yes.
I think we lost some people, y'all.
We got Queen A.
It's Happy Bill. It's Happy Bill.
It's Happy Bill.
Is it me, Sirius K?
No, it's Happy Bill. She beat you. It don't matter how many times you late, Queen A. You already know she beat you. If you late 5 times, she been late 50.
Yes.
Right. Nikki, get a gift. Nikki, you have won. Queen A is the answer.
No.
No.
It's Happy Bill.
Happy Bill is the answer.
Don't let her lie to you.
So do we have to pick another one? We have to ask another question?
No, because I think she's the only one left on here now.
She's like, hey, I'll keep asking.
I know, right? She's like, I got y'all.
Nikki Green for
Thank you,
always
Nikki.
participating with us.
Yes. Thank you so much for being a good sport. Well, this has been a lovely show. We are so grateful and so thankful, especially for what this weekend represents. Resurrection. We are so full of joy. And we pray that everyone have a lovely Easter, a lovely resurrection Sunday. Definitely praise the Lord. And however you worship and praise God, we pray that you do it and you do it in joy and in love. And we will see you guys. Nikki, reach out to us. You are the winner. We love you. We love everyone. We will see you guys next week. Have a safe and blessed week. We love you, and we're out.